For lesson 5.1 on ratios, remember that your objectives are to be able to learn how to write ratios and fractions in simplest form and also simplify ratios involving measurements. There is just one vocabulary word here, and that is ratio. That can be found right here on the page. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities by division. Notice that ratios can be written three separate ways, with the word to in the center of the two numbers, or using a colon, or also using a division symbol comparing the two. So at example 1 at the bottom, we're given an example of 12 baskets in 18 attempts and write that fraction in simplest form. We are going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 6 to write that as 2/3. For the got it at the bottom down here, express the ratio of the lifespan of a bottlenose dolphin. So we want to make sure and put that number first. So we'll put 30 over the lifespan of a mouse. And so we're going to put 30 over 3, and we're going to go ahead and reduce that as 10:1, which means that, oops, sorry, my handwriting's a little bad there. I'm getting used to this new tool. But 10:1, so for every 10 years the bottlenose dolphin, there's 1 for the mouse. So the reduced ratio can be written as 10 over 1 like this, 10 colon 1 for another method, and then 10 to 1. Okay, so I don't feel very confident about how I explained that, explain the meaning. So express the ratio of the lifespan of a bottlenose dolphin. It's about, okay, so about 10 times as longer. A bottlenose dolphin lives about 10 times as long as a mouse, which makes sense. Okay, so going to example 2 in this lesson, it's talking about 10 out of every 30 Americans own a portable MP3 player. Express this ratio as a fraction in simplest term. So again, we're just making a comparison of two quantities and then reducing it. So what we have here on got it, 15 out of 100 campsites. So 15 out of 100 campsites are reserved for campers with pets, and that ratio in simplest form would be to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3, both. So I'm going to say 15 divided by 3 is 5, and whoops, not divided by 3. Excuse me on that one. Divide both by 5. Okay, so 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So the final answer for that one is 3/20, and that means out of every 20 campsites, 3 are reserved for campers with pets. All right, moving down to example 3, we have writing ratios involving measurements. And just notice right here, it says both quantities should have the same unit of measure. So in this case, example 3, we have 8 ounces to 3 pounds. So we have to go ahead and change 3 pounds to 48 ounces by multiplying by 16. Then we can go ahead and reduce 8/48 to 1/6. So for number 3, got it problem, the ratio of 15 inches to 1 foot. Well, we know that 1 foot has 12 inches, so we're going to put 15 inches over 12 inches. And so then we'll divide both by 3 and get 5/4. Okay, and we're not going to change that to an improper fraction because a ratio is a comparison of two items or two quantities. So we want to keep it comparing two quantities by either writing it 5/4, 5:4, or 5, the word 2, 4. Okay, that's all for lesson 1. Hopefully that gets you started. It's a pretty easy section in my opinion. Just pay attention to those labels and make sure they're in the right measurement if you're reducing ratios related to measurement.